The Kingdom of Temseca would hold its 10th election since the restoration of democracy on the 9th of February 1962. Wait, 1962? What happened? A lot. The election was triggered due to sudden death of King Novicius Marcius I of a stroke in January 1962. Rumors of ill health had circulated after Novicius had failed to hold his usual New Year's speech, leaving the duty for his daughter and heir Celeste Marcius. Cancellarius Primus Clemens Faustus would get on the Curia balcony, together with the widowed Camilla Marcius, and declare the death of Novicius to the public and the ascension of Celeste Marcius I, who took the name Concourse. Due to these events, all parties in the Curia, aside from the ethno-nationalist right, agreed to hold an election in the honor of Novicius' memory. The Curia would remain closed until election day, as a period of national mourning was declared. On the political front, the Purple Coalition had been a mess. Lacking the political culture for coalition governing, the minority government of United Entropic Alliance and Front Popularis would struggle to find majorities for much of anything. Free Land would prove a reluctant confidence in supply, rarely cooperating with the government to pass reforms. This would lead to gridlock, as the SLP had enacted a strategy of harsh criticism and non-cooperation with the new government, counting on their slip-ups and mistakes returning old voters back to the SLP. The Finance Ministry, given to the Front Popularis, would also begin a project of privatization and budget cuts, which would hit welfare institutions. As many of these were run by, or with the cooperation of, entropic institutions, the base of United Entropic Alliance would begin souring on the coalition as well. Poor workers, unemployed individuals, and dependents would begin agitating against the government, as the standard of living for vulnerable individuals began to fall for the first time since 1932. Especially a protest of pensioners, including disabled war veterans from the War of National Liberation, would turn into a humiliation ritual for the Purple Coalition, as the mayor of Temseca would sic riot police on them, pictures of injured disabled veterans staining the coalition's legacy. With the sultry civil war in full effect, a new party would begin taking shape. Livable Temseca would come onto the scene as a right-wing protest movement against the Purple Coalition's positive attitude towards war refugees settling in Temseca. Especially the practice of giving refugees Temseki citizenship would shoot up the popularity of Livable Temseca, as they preferred a more thorough integration system for the new arrivals to be given equal rights. The movement lacked a charismatic leader and would poll quite poorly. A major pollution scandal would also hit. The Vindobona River would catch fire, and its entire length would burn for an hour, leaving spots of burning to continue for weeks. This would light wildfires through fields and grasslands, leading to over 50 deaths and hundreds of injured, alongside thousands needing evacuation. The fire was blamed on Vindobona's industrial leaders, who allowed industrial byproducts to be dumped freely into the river, which caught fire, and the 30 years of build-up fed it to become the catastrophe we saw. And the elections were? The SLP won, taking an impressive 32 seats. In second place came the Front Popularis with only 19 seats. In third place would be the Socialist Ecologists, jumping up to 18 seats. Free Land and the United Entropic Alliance would lose many of their seats, being discredited in the eyes of the electorate due to the difficulties of the Purple Coalition. Livable Temseca would also gain representation, reaching a modest 4 Curia seats. The ethno-nationalist parties would increase their total representation with 6 seats, jumping to a combined 28 Curia seats. With violence increasing in Occident, the establishment parties would be pushed out, and many would call for the restoration of order. The Queen, Celeste Marcius I Concourse, would charge SLP leader Andreas Marianus with forming a coalition government. After a record 32 days of negotiations, a majority coalition was ready. It was made up of the SLP, Socialist Ecologists, Free Land, and Livable Temseca for a tight majority of 60. The coalition would unveil a political reform which would help the process of cooperation between the parties, a document of understanding, a list of policies and priorities all 4 parties could come together on for the term. The Socialist Ecologists got environmental reforms, the SLP got economic leftist concessions, the Free Land got long-awaited expropriation reform, and Livable Temseca would gain some significant tightening on immigration and citizenship. The coalition seems stable. I wonder how it turns out.